Good morning. I'm sitting on a balcony and having a morning cup of tea. And I'm thinking about someone I know that's really hurt right now, and they're struggling to make sense of their world and their life. And this morning when I was walking the dogs, I was talking to Jesus. And I realized that I was in that same place not so long ago. I kind of remembered when my heart was so sore that getting up in the morning was really difficult. Putting on clothes, washing your face, going out into the world, just facing people, facing situations, facing responsibilities was just a really difficult task, because at that time it would have been a lot easier if I could just curl up in bed and not deal with any of it. And I was thinking this morning how easy it is for us to get lost in the dark. When it gets this dark, how easy it is to fear and to allow fear to saturate our hearts, and we tend to close up. We kind of like throw trust out the window, and the idea of love and friendship becomes really distant, because you can't trust anybody, because you've been hurt so bad. And it's in those dark moments that we make really stupid decisions to turn our back on God. A lot of us out there question God. Why did you allow this to happen to me? Why? Where were you, or where are you now? This is what this person that I'm having this recording in mind with, this is what they said to me. Where is God now? And I can completely understand how they feel and why they say what they say. Even though you grow up in a family where going to church and praise and worship is everyday occurrence. You know the Bible, you read it, but your relationship with God takes strain when you go through difficulties. And it's in those difficulties that you have to decide whether you want to turn to God for help or to turn your back on God because you're angry with Him. Being angry when it hurts is a natural thing. And take it from me, I've been angry, very angry, because I've been very hurt for a long time. But in my pain, I took the decision to stick with God. And I actually went to the Lord and I said, Lord, take me. Here's my hand. I don't want to go anywhere else. I'm not gonna run into the world out there and make new friends or look for new relationships. I'm just gonna sit here with you at your feet I'm going to cling to the hem of your garment, and you're just going to drag me along wherever you go. So fast forward a couple of years later, I'm walking the dogs this morning, and I'm thinking to myself, that was probably the best decision I made, to cling to God with everything I have, and to give God all my pain and all my disappointment and all my anger. Because in essence, if we don't do that, if we don't give to God the things we struggle with and we ask Him for help, we're not going to be able to overcome it. We might shelve them and lock them in a basket in the basement, but it's only going to be for a season. And when an opportunity arises, it will come back to bite us. So this morning when I was walking and listening to some praise and worship music, I was thinking about how difficult it must be for my friend right now to throw her fears into the wind and allow Jesus to come into her heart so that He can begin the healing process, because He's the healer. I always joke about, you can't take your TV to Fruit and Veg. And if your TV is broken, you can't take it to the fruit and veg store and ask them to fix it. It doesn't work that way. So if your heart is broken, if your soul is in turmoil and you are in emotional pain, who's going to fix that? The world likes to think that you can fix it with going for therapy and church counseling, but that can help to an extent. The real healing that is inside your heart, the real healing comes from Jesus and Jesus alone. And I'll share this very, very intimate, very particular example to prove this. When the person I loved the most in the world turned their back on me and walked away, and my heart was splintered into a million pieces, I remember a period of time after the separation that was incredibly difficult to like myself, let alone love myself. I didn't want anything to do with me. And I remember one morning brushing my teeth and looking into the mirror and staring into my own eyes and looking into this darkness, this deep empty place, this sorrowful gray area. And I was so sad and so disappointed that I have come to this, that this moment has arrived in my life, that I've allowed it to happen. And I remember I prayed and I asked Jesus to help me with this, to help me overcome this, to overcome myself. Because I was so broken at that moment. And I remember Him coming to me and He put His hand on my shoulder and He said, just because that person doesn't love you or they lack the ability to love you, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. And when He said that, I felt His love in my heart. I felt it. And I truly believe that this was the beginning of my healing journey. Because He said, I love you, even if this person or that person or whoever doesn't, I do. And that's more than enough. But it's overcoming the flesh that wants to be accepted and loved by everybody that you come into contact with, that makes the battle really hard. Because we all know Jesus loves us. And we all feel it. We all see the evidence all around. But it's overcoming your flesh to want to be accepted and loved by everybody. Again, fast forward a couple of years down the line, and I have come to a place of restoration and peace and joy that I've never thought existed. And it is because I believe Jesus when he told me that he loves me in that intimate moment in front of the mirror all these years ago in a bathroom. And I followed him wherever he went. I took his hand. I loved him back. So I'm healed and restored and whole again, and at peace with myself. I learned that comes with validation. After the rejection that I experienced back then, coupled with few more friendship breakdowns and rejections that I experienced afterwards from other people, really messed me up. And I was continuously seeking validation from the outside world, from people, family, friends, loved ones, partners, whatever. And all the more I was needing this one thing, just to be validated, that I matter, that I'm okay to somebody, that somebody loves me, that somebody thinks I should exist and I'm really worth loving. And I didn't have that. People didn't give me that. Again, it wasn't for people to give. It wasn't for me to ask people to validate me. It was for me and for Jesus. Jesus has already validated us because he got on that cross. That's more than enough validation to anybody. For you to know that Yeshua HaMashiach chose death so that you live. If that doesn't tell you he loves you, I don't know what ever will. The beatings, the bruising of his body, the scorn, the pushing around, the spitting on his face, the torture that he experienced while he was all alone, to get on that cross should be more than enough evidence to prove to you that he loves you. And if you really want to do yourself a favor, just you have to accept that validation from him, because no one ever is going to love you more than Jesus. Ever. Not in this world, not in any other world. This is it. This is the real deal. So if Jesus has validated you and has told you that he loves you so much, now it's time for you to validate yourself. Not to give that power to people and to wait on them because they're incapable. People are incapable of validating others. They might do it half-heartedly for a season, but not in a way that needs to be done. Not in the way that can effectively change the trajectory of your life. Once Yeshua let me know this, once he revealed this to me and told me, stop looking for validation on the outside. You got to do it yourself. And me. And since he validated me, I had to validate myself. And I got to choose me. I chose me. I did. It feels good. I should matter to me first and foremost, because if I'm not okay with me, the world will not be okay with me. My family will not be okay with me. My life will not be okay with me. And that negative energy will spread out from the inside out. I have to matter to me first. I have to be my own number one first. Because I am Jesus's number one. He said to me, this is a command. I command you to love yourself. It's in the Bible. You have to obey me. If you love me, you obey me. Love yourself is a command from the Lord. But loving yourself is going to be the hardest thing you'll ever do. Making peace with yourself, forgiving yourself, finding yourself, choosing yourself. That's the journey. And it's going to be really hard. So you can't do it alone. So this morning, I just want to tell my friend, choose Jesus. Choose you. Go take his hand and walk with him. Throw your fears into the wind. Don't turn your back on God. You're going to be fine. Shalom.